Let's be honest. When someone hurts you, mistreats you, lies on you, discriminates against you, or tries to silence you, the desire to see them exposed can feel righteous. But how do you know when you're seeking justice and when you're actually seeking revenge? And so that's what we're going to talk about today. This may be one of the most important episodes in the Seeking Justice, Faith, Perseverance, and Purpose in Difficult Times series, because if we don't check our motives, we can start in justice and end in bitterness. Now, I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for me, because the goal is not just to win a battle. The goal is to stay whole. And so revenge says, you hurt me, so now I want to hurt you. Revenge is personal destruction. It's not satisfied with accountability. It wants humiliation. It wants the other person to suffer. It wants to make pain contagious. And I understand, trust me, I understand why people feel that way. When someone has caused real damage, it is natural to want them to feel what you felt. But as believers, we cannot let our pain become our compass. Pain can alert us to something that's wrong, but it shouldn't be allowed to lead our lives. And so justice is different. Justice says what happened was wrong and it needs to be addressed. Justice is truth. It's about accountability. Justice is about protection. Justice is about making sure harm is not ignored or repeated. Justice can involve consequences, but the motive is not hatred. The motive is righteousness. That's why Isaiah chapter 1 verse 17 says, learn to do right, seek justice. The order matters. Doing right comes before seeking justice. Because God cares not only about what we pursue, but how we pursue it. So here are some questions I ask myself. Am I telling the truth, or am I embellishing because I want people on my side? Am I seeking accountability, or am I trying to destroy someone's life? Am I still able to pray, or has the situation consumed my spirit? Am I open to God's timing, or am I demanding my own version of justice? Am I acting from wisdom, or am I reacting from wounds? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary, because sometimes we say, I want justice, when what we really mean is, I want them to hurt like I hurt. And that's not freedom, that's bondage. And so there have been so many moments in my own life where I had to bring my anger to God honestly. Not the polished version, not the churchy version, the real version. God, I am angry. God, I'm tired. God, I don't understand why this is happening. God, I want accountability, but I don't want this to consume me. And believe me, God can handle that honesty. The danger is not feeling anger. The danger is letting anger become your identity. And so Ephesians chapter 4:26 essentially says, in your anger, do not sin. So, be angry and sin not, right? Is essentially the message there. And so that means that anger itself is not always the sin. What we do with it matters. Here are 4 ways to pursue justice without slipping into revenge. First, pray before you respond, right? Second, stick to the facts. Third, avoid personal attacks. And last but not least, remember that God is the final judge. And that last one is important because people can manipulate systems, they can misunderstand you, they may avoid accountability, but no one escapes God's justice. That truth is what brings me peace, because it reminds me that I'm responsible for obedience, not ultimate judgment. So today I want you to ask yourself, am I pursuing justice in a way that still honors God? Not perfectly, because none of us are perfect, right? But sincerely, because God can use your voice, your story, and your persistence, but he also wants to protect your heart. And so, in the final episode of this series, we're going to talk about how to fight without losing your faith. If this message resonates with you, be sure to subscribe to the channel and sign up for the mailing list in order to continue to receive more faith-based content. And remember, if you're everything to everyone, you risk being no one. You never know who you will inspire. See you next video.